Welcome everybody. We're starting on time. It's 10 o'clock where I am, and well, it's actually 10 and 2 minutes, and it's 8 o'clock in Nanaimo in British Columbia, Canada. So welcome everybody for joining us today for this Q&A session. It's called Ask VIU. So the idea is to hear all your questions and to answer them live. Today, we will be talking about one of the greatest programs at Vancouver Island University, our Bachelor of Hospitality Management. So welcome everybody and thank you for joining. Today, we have wonderful guests that will be part of this panel, this Q&A session. So I'm going to start introducing my wonderful guest, Peter Briscoe, who is the chair of the Hospitality Management Program. And we also have Kathy Cameron from the admission team. First, before we start, I would like to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. So first of all, I would like to gratefully acknowledge that VIU is located on the traditional territory of Sunay, Mook, Kutsin, and Talim people, where we are grateful to live, work, learn, and play on this beautiful land. Please remember that this session, it's been recorded, so you can't put any personal information on it. And we will let you know if you would like to have one-on-one meetings with one of the recruiters from your region. We will show you how to schedule one of those meetings at the end of the session. So please remember that you have an option at the bottom where you have Q&A, so you can enter all your questions there and we will be answering them live. Before we start, I would like to ask everyone to put in the chat option, where are you joining from? Where are you? So I'm gonna start. My name is Pamela Cisneros and I'm one of the international recruiters at Vancouver Island University. I recruit students from Latin America and I am based in Quito, Ecuador. So for all the ones that are joining, please remember to put where you are or where are you from right now. And I would like to ask my wonderful guests to introduce themselves. Peter?
Yes, good morning and welcome to you all. This is wonderful. Thank you for showing interest in Vancouver Island University and our what I like to call the world famous hospitality management program, because it is. Our graduates are around the world. Yeah, I would be very surprised if you don't run into one of them in your own home country. So my name is Peter Briscoe. I'm coming to you live from a small island called Gabriola. It's just off the coast of Nanaimo, and it's in beautiful British Columbia. And we're absolutely delighted to live in this part of the world. Nanaimo's a great, vibrant, dynamic, young city, which is really welcoming to all of our international students. It's just a really nice place to be. You're close to everything. So that's who I am. I'm the chair of the program. I've been the chair for many years, and I also chair the wine business certificate program. So if you're interested in that, we can answer questions on that too. I'll pass it back to Pamela.
Thank you, Peter. That's awesome. I haven't had the chance to be in Gabriola, but I hope next time I go to Canada, I'll have the chance to visit the island. Well, we also have here Kathy Cameron. So please, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you are right now?
Okay, thanks, Pamela. Hi, everyone. I can see we've got quite an international crowd with us this morning. That's wonderful. Right now it's 8 a.m. here in Nanaimo, and I am in Nanaimo this morning. My position is the Associate Registrar for International Admissions. So I oversee the team who helps you with your application process, gives you your results, and tries to make your transition to our university as smooth and as easy as possible. So I look forward to answering your questions and hopefully seeing some of you on campus this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we also have someone else here. Mike, please, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. Thank you, Pamela. My name is Mike Chapman. I'm the digital marketing specialist here at VIU in the International Recruitment Department. I'm actually on campus as well in Nanaimo. So super happy to be here and happy to see such a good turnout already. Can't wait to hear your questions.
Great, thank you. So I was reading the chat and we have students, we have people from Dubai, from Bangladesh, from Indonesia, from Singapore, Sri Lanka. We also have someone from Ghana. We have someone from Chile, from Rwanda. We have a few people actually from Rwanda. It's awesome to have such a variety and diversity, because I think that's also something very important that we were talking about, the diversity that we have at VIU. We have students from all over the world, and that makes actually our programs more reachful for you. So we'll start. Please remember, you can put your questions. This is a Q&A, so we want to welcome you to put your questions in the Q&A option at the bottom. And while we start receiving your questions, we have someone from Kenya as well. Welcome, Mariam. So I'm gonna ask Peter to start talking a little bit about the program, the hospitality management program. Talk a little bit about the features of the program. Can you tell us a little bit about what to expect from this wonderful bachelor degree?
Certainly, Pamela. Thank you for that. I can go on at length about this, so but I'll answer best if I can. And then if you have any specific questions, please ask. It's really important. We'd like to know. We'd like to give you as much information as we can. So the Bachelor of Hospitality Management at Vancouver Island University, hospitality management education at Vancouver Island University, has been going on for over 50 years. It's a very proud and well-established program. We, as I said, we have graduates that work around the world through all of Canada and abroad. So it's absolutely fantastic. Some decide to stay in Canada, which is delightful for us. So we really prepare people the best that we can to take this education with us and then move on to their next journey in life. Whether that's graduate school, some choose that. Whether it's going directly into a career, many choose that as well. Some choose to make their own business. So what we do is provide a whole slate of education, skills and knowledge that prepare you for that. So how do we do that? So we have a Bachelor of Hospitality Management, which is 4 years. At your age, it seems like an absolutely long time. Tell me about it. I know that. I used to be your age. I know it's hard to believe, but I was. But it is a very valuable and rich time. One of the values and the richness about that is the interaction you have with your classmates and with your faculty. We are a small group of dedicated faculty. And so you're not in a large university where you have 300 students in your first year class. Our classes are small. They're usually around between 25 and 30, 35 students. So we get to know you and help you along your way, whatever that may be. How we do that is really through education and work integrated learning. So the work integrated learning is co-op, which we call cooperative education, work placements. So you take 2 semesters with us, study academics, and then you take that knowledge and we assist you in placements in the industry. Is that difficult to do? No. In fact, actually, our students right now are absolutely flooded with choice. And that comes up with something that's very important, particularly in British Columbia, but in Canada, all across the country, is that people with an education in hospitality management are in demand. It is absolutely incredible. My phone, I answer 3 or 4 times a week in my office with calls from either graduates, alumni from our program, or industry saying, we really need some of your graduates. How can we do this? We have industries reaching out to us to establish more mentorships, more extended internships, because they know that the youth, the educated youth, is their future. So in our program, in the Bachelor of Hospitality Management, we have 3 mandatory work integrated learning experiences. And we generally see that as a progression. So introductory in the very first one, getting you to socialize with the industry, understanding what the culture of Canada is like, working with a variety of people. Moving into second year, they generally find that you have more responsibility. You may be in a similar area within hospitality, but more responsibility. And then third year, we really focus in with you and find out where you want to go. You might want to work for a big chain, one of the international chains like Four Seasons or Fairmont or Core or IHG, they all come to our campus to recruit. They'll come invite all the students. They make offers. This year, I had first year students who were debating, well, I really want to work for Fairmont. I've also got this offer from Four Seasons. What should I take? And they start, then it allows you the choice to choose your own path. What do you want to do? Where do you want to live? All those things come into it. So it's really important. So we oscillate between academic studies and applicable work integrated learnings. Now, the academic studies are not solely lecture based. They're not memorized to tell us back. They're very group dynamics. They're integrated. We're trying to make you decision makers. We want to change you, turn you into management professionals. So that process is very robust and really integrates real life situations and theories and concepts. So just a quick example, my first year course this year, I looked around and talked to the students, and we realized that in our classroom of 28 students, there were 8 languages spoken.
Oh,
If you include English, then there were 9. So that's how diverse our program is. The split between international and domestic students oscillates. Next year, it will be about 50-50, 50 domestic students from across Canada, 50 international students from around the world. And generally, we have a larger percentage of international students in other departments, mainly because of the great opportunities, mainly because of that possibility of taking your education and applying it immediately to what you want to do in your life. So that's our role. As I said, we're a small faculty, dedicated. We are very receptive. There's a lot that we can help you with, and we're here to make that journey, that great investment you're going to make in yourself, all the best. So I'll turn it back to Pamela, but please, if you have any questions, please ask.
thank you, Peter. Thank you. I think it was wonderful to hear all the features of the program and everything. We have a few questions already, and I'm going to start reading them and we can start answering them. We have Victor Garcia. He's from Singapore, and he holds right now a diploma in hotel and hospitality management. He's asking, would I be able to use this to enroll into the bachelor degree? I guess this would be more like a transfer question. Would this student be able to transfer some of his credits to our hospitality management bachelor degree? Kathy, would you like to answer that question, please?
Sure. So yes, Victor, we do assess students who wish to apply as a transfer student. And even on the international student application, there's an opportunity to check what type of student you are and how you are applying. And you can indicate that you are applying as a transfer student. So when you do that, we would evaluate your application and make sure that you do in fact meet the entrance requirements, and likely you would if you've already completed a diploma in hospitality management. And you would, when you receive the offer, after you've accepted your offer, we would give you an indication of how many credits you might be able to qualify for. So if you want specific course-to-course equivalent transfer credits, what we would need from you is descriptions of the courses that you have taken at your home institution. And we would have our faculty evaluate those course descriptions, looking at how much time, what was covered in the courses, and they would determine if it equates to a specific course at VIU. If it doesn't equate to a specific course, you might qualify for general transfer credit. So it's a very good chance that you would be qualifying for transfer credit, given that you already have a diploma. And we can help walk you through the process after you've applied to help you understand how that would impact your studies at VIU. Peter, is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's excellent, Kathy. Yes. And just to add one brief thing, so we have many transfer students, many transfer students, for international universities and Canadian universities that take their diploma, and for whatever reason, many of them realizing that the degree is what they really need, and they come into our third year and they're welcomed. They add a real great dynamic. One of the really nice things about transfer students is that they've already shown the commitment to the industry. And so it's a very strong indicator of how successful they are going to be. So yes, I encourage you to apply.
Wonderful. And just to complement this answer, we had a question asking how long is the diploma, and I just wanted to point out that the students have two options. They can either just take a 2-year diploma, it's just 2 years, or finish that and also go on and take 2 more years and get the credential and get the bachelor degree. Right now, we have a few questions also about the requirements. We have someone asking about the IELTS. So I will share my screen. And so Kathy, do you mind talking a little bit about the admission requirements for this program?
Sure. So to qualify for admission for the Bachelor of Hospitality Management, you need to have the equivalent of a high school graduation, or to be in progress, expected to complete your high school graduation. And we also look for your English score and your math score. So there, Patricia's put up, so you need, if you've taken English in British Columbia school system, you need a C+ in your English 12. So that's slightly higher English requirement than other programs at VIU. The OR equivalent means you can meet the English requirement with an IELTS test, an academic IELTS test, or with TOEFL, and all those equivalent scores are listed on the web page here. So for IELTS, you would need a score of 6.5 with no band below 6.0. And you can see we accept all kinds of English proficiency tests, but that's just to give you an example of what we'd be looking for from these various tests. And so in addition to your high school graduation, your English proficiency, we also look for your grade 10 level, equivalent to BC grade 10, foundations in math or pre-calculus in math, with a minimum grade of C+. So you do need to show math proficiency. And because we've got students from all around the world here today, and if you're not sure if your math scores equate, we would take a look at your transcripts and let you know after you applied if they are equivalent to, if they're meeting the admission requirement.
Great, thank you, Kathy. So I'm sharing right now the link with everyone so you can look at the general requirements, and you can also see all these options that Kathy just mentioned about what English proficiency test we accept. Just something that I would like to add is that we are accepting 3 online tests. You can look at the option, you can see if these any of these tests are available in your country. We are accepting Kyle Online, Pearson Online, and TOEFL IBT Home Edition. Okay, so remember that you also have those 3 options. I'll stop sharing my screen. Yeah, Kathy?
Just to add to that, if for some reason you're not quite meeting the English language entrance requirement, do not despair. We can offer you conditional acceptance to the hospitality program and help you do English upgrading at VIU. So you may have a TOEFL score that's close, or you may need a little extra support in building your English language proficiency, and you can do that at VIU and come and do a semester or 2 semesters of English, and then start your Bachelor of Hospitality Management program. So you would have a letter of acceptance from us that says you're accepted both to ESL, and when that's completed, you're accepted to the Bachelor of Hospitality Management.
Thank you, Kathy. I'll also putting right now in the chat the link where students can go and look at the brochure where we have information about our English Language Center. So you can look at the levels that we have and some other information. Let's continue with the questions we have. We had Shireen, she's asking, hi, I'm joining from Dubai. Thank you. My question is, during your co-op year, will the university help me in getting the internship? So, Peter, can you answer? Thank you.
Yes, I can. That is really good information for you to know. So how we work with our work integrated learning or co-op, we have one dedicated faculty member that's all she does. So there's a preparatory course in the fall to prepare you to go out in the summer in your work integrated learning experience. And that time in the fall, later in the fall, is when the recruiters come on campus and you go through all these different selection opportunities. So we assist with that. The overall results of securing the employment is a combination of three things: the university, the student, and the employer. Because they're all paid positions, you're all compensated. It is an active employment situation. So the employer hires you, but they do so with the implicit recommendation from the university. So we bring employers to you. We source out opportunities. When you're working with the faculty member, her name is Linda Robinson. When you work closely with her, she also goes, oh, Ellum, I know that you have this opportunity. This is where you would like to go. I'm going to connect you with this small resort on the coast of British Columbia. They're looking for someone just like you. So we assist as best we possibly can. We filter between good employers, what we call employers of choice, good partners, and ones that we're not keen on. I'll put it that way, because that's the industry. There's lots there we would say, no, I don't think you should take that experience with those people. So we are very much an active participant and partner in this getting a co-op for you. We just don't, stick you in front of a job board and say, have at it. That's not our system at all. We work with you. It's really, it's one of the cornerstones of our program. And if you think about it, the work integrated learning should be in all management. It's in all professional education: medicine, law, accounting, hospitality. You go down the list, that's an essential part. There's very few that I would suggest that graduate from a hospitality program without work integrated learning that are going to be ready to go into the industry and get what the results they want to have. So really key part of our program.
Great. Thank you, Peter. And we also have another question about the co-ops. Does the diploma also has co-ops?
Yes, there are, as I said, 3 in the bachelor degree, one between the first and second year, one between the second and third year. So if you were going to complete the diploma only and exit, then you would have to complete 2 mandatory co-ops. And with those co-ops, the one happens in the summertime in Canada, which the weather's quite nice. That's a summertime in Canada. You go out on your work experience, you come back into your second year, but you come back a little bit later, mainly because there's greater experience for you that little bit longer into September. Industry partners want to keep you, and students find this very beneficial. So you come back a little bit later in second year, concentrated, you finish up, then you go out on your second co-op, and then being successful, you are ready to apply to graduate.
Peter, I would like to just ask Kathy about the co-ops. Since Peter was explaining that these students will be working during these internships, let's say these co-ops, is the process different for these students whose program includes co-ops when they receive the acceptance letter, or is it the same?
Okay, great question, Pamela. So when you receive a letter of acceptance to the Bachelor of Hospitality Management, you will notice that there's one page that's a template that's used by Immigration Canada that we follow. And I think it's box 29. I'm not 100% sure. There's a box that's checked that co-op is a requirement for your degree. And so we indicate it right on the letter of acceptance. And what's important for students is when you are applying for your study permit, to also ask, in case they don't notice that that box is checked, is to also request that you receive a co-op work permit, because it's much easier, doesn't cost you more, I believe. I'm not an immigration advisor, but I believe. But it's a really good idea to request both your study permit and co-op work permit at the same time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. We also have, I'll continue reading the question. Victorio Garcia, he was from Singapore, if I'm not wrong. He's also saying that he's currently working in the Four Seasons Hotel in Singapore. And he's also asking later, is there any successful testimony from the student or now working in the top management in the hospitality industry? Peter?
Yes, lots. I don't have one ready right for this presentation, but we certainly do. We can make those available on our website, and there are many. I could bore you with a list, but I won't. But they really are, and they do speak very strongly about the program. We survey all the students as a government, and our British Columbia government survey all our graduates, and the results that come back are very encouraging. And we are in the university, on the undergraduate programs, we're the top program in the university for high impact learning. And we are also one of the very few that have mandatory co-ops. So the students just think it's wonderful, and they've come back and said, yes, we liked that. That was a good part of our education. So testimonies, yes, they will be. There are some on our program page, but there are many other ones that can be available.
You can contact us, and I'm going to put in the chat option or email address or biu@biu.ca. Remember, you can also send us an email and we can help you, and we can share a contact from a student from your region probably who can share his testimonial. So remember, you can always send an email to our international team and we will be happy to assist you. We also have more questions. We have a question from Corinne. She's, I would like to ask, how do you give scholarships for people from abroad? Because I want to study, yet I don't have ability to pay my school fees. Kathy, would you mind talking a little bit about the scholarships, please?
Yeah, great question, Corinne. At this point in time, the entrance scholarships for new students, international students applying to VIU, it is on hold. We don't have large sums of money for scholarships, unfortunately. Another complication for students that have financial challenges is in order to qualify for your study permit to come to Canada, there is a need to show that you do have funds to support yourself while you are here. And so even with the small amount of money that an entrance scholarship might offer, if you did not have the funds to support yourself, it wouldn't be enough to help you qualify for entering Canada. So I know it's a lot of money to invest in your education and to pay for your international tuition and your living expenses, and that many students supplement their investment or the help support themselves through the off-campus work while they're here and earn a little bit of supplemental money. But unfortunately, we don't have large entrance scholarships to offer international students at this time.
Thank you, Kathy. We also have another question from Hamza. Hello, I haven't done IELTS, but I'm doing a certificate on food and beverage production. I'm planning to do level 1 and 2 on cooking. Kathy, I think the question would be, does the student need to take IELTS still, even though he's taking the food and beverage production certificate?
Okay, without knowing about your secondary school experience, where you went to school, was it in an English-speaking country? We do require proof of English capabilities for all students, even Canadian students who've studied in Canada. There is a requirement to show that you have the equivalent of English 12 with a C+. So you do need to have proof of English capabilities. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Kathy. We have a question from Sarfraz. My question is, how much study gap is acceptable after intermediate for bachelor program? Kathy, would you like to answer that question as well?
I'm not sure I'm understanding fully, but let me guess what the question's about. So if your goal is to qualify for a postgrad work permit when you graduate from VIU, which I imagine most of you would be looking to do, there is a requirement to maintain consistent full-time studies at VIU. And so gaps in your study, if they're regular part of the academic year, for example, summer, if you have a summer term off, that is not going to impact your ability to qualify. But if you need to take a longer leave of absence from your study, it's really important that you make that official. Don't just disappear, because we do know that sometimes things might come up in your life, your situation, where you may need to take a semester off, for example. You do need to request permission from the chair of the program, and that we record that officially, so that if immigration were to ask about your studies at VIU, we can say, yes, they're on an approved leave of absence. If you're not on an approved leave and you're just not attending classes, that's when you get into some trouble with immigration. So do keep in mind that you do have a requirement to maintain full-time studies, and that you should not be taking long gaps in your studies.
Thank you, Kathy.
Could
Peter? Yeah.
Could I add one thing? If the question is about how much the gap between finishing high school and starting in university, as I understand, we don't have that. Some countries do. There's a length of time that you can be away. So
Okay.
I can't speak to that, but I think that might be the question.
Okay, thanks, Peter.
I was thinking the same, and that actually raised another question in my head. And I was going to ask, do we have an age limit for students to apply for this program?
No.
Great.
At the top end, no, they have to finish high school, but
finish high school.
But no, we do. We have a diverse age population. We have people in their mid-careers changing careers. We have people that have worked in the industry now are coming back and saying, you know what, I need to get that degree. So it's not all young people. It's a diverse age range.
And do we have, I have a question from Musafar later, but I was thinking that are students, I'm sure there are students from international, from other countries who have already graduated from a different undergraduate program. We have an example here from Musafar. He has done a diploma in IT for 3 years. He completed in 2018. Would he be able to apply for this Bachelor of Hospitality Management, even though he has a different diploma already in a different field?
So again, what we would do is he could request that we take a look at what his previous post-secondary studies have been, and he may qualify for some elective transfer credits, for example. So within the program, some of the courses he's taken might qualify for elective credits. So it's possible that some of his studies might help him here.
Yeah, and remember, you can also start from the beginning for all students. You know, if this is something that you always wanted to do, but you decided to study something different, it's always, you know, that you always have the chance to start from zero. And if you want to do a short program, then you have the diploma option. But if you want to pursue the bachelor degree, you have to complete 4 years. We also have a question from Adit. Do you offer opportunities for master's degree programs? Peter?
You must be reading our minds. The development of a master's program in the province of British Columbia is quite detailed and lengthy. And we are in the middle of that development program right now. And that will happen in the next few years. So we are looking ahead, and if you're still interested when that comes available, then we will certainly have that available to us. There is a demand in the industry and a demand from students, but we're, they would say, we're on it, but we haven't finished it.
We are working on it, and I'm sure we're gonna, after we finish working on this, we'll have excellent options for international students. We have another questions, and we have a question from someone who's asking, can I apply with this? Can you talk a little bit about the intakes, please, that we have in the program, Kathy? How many intakes per year? Are we still accepting applications for this year? What are the options that the students have at the moment?
Okay, so to start with your last question first, yes, we are still accepting applications for the fall semester. So if you are thinking of coming this fall, we would really encourage you to get your application in as soon as possible. We will likely keep applications open till the first week of June, but do know that the time required, as long as there's still space available. So the application deadline was actually March 31st, but if we have space, we continue to keep applications open. So what you need to keep in mind is that when you apply, you need to allow a period of time for us to review your application and to get an offer, a letter of offer to you. When you receive a letter of offer, you have 4 weeks typically to accept that offer. So to accept the offer, you need to make a payment, a tuition deposit, non-refundable tuition deposit. And then when we receive your acceptance, we would send you the letter of acceptance. So that whole time can take 6-8 weeks after you've submitted your application, just to have all those pieces in place. And then you have to apply for your study permit. And the study permit application process can take, in some countries, it can take 4 months, it can take a lot of time. So it's much better for you to plan to apply as early as possible so that you don't end up caught without having a study permit approval in time to come for the fall. That said, we do have the option of starting in January. So there's intakes in September and in January. So if for some reason your study permit is not approved in time for you to get here for September, all you would do is contact the admission office, let us know that you need to defer your start, and we will set you up for the January program.
Thank you, Kathy. So remember, you have 2 options per year. You have September and January, 2 intakes available for you. We have another question. In the case a student would not get an internship, then what would happen? Peter?
So the work integrated learning is available to all of our students on a condition. The condition is that you have completed your courses of study, that you need to do that, and that you have achieved a grade point average of a C+, which in our scale is 2.33 or better. So it is about the student. So you have to show that you are doing good achievement in your studies. So that can prevent or or delay your co-op. It doesn't mean you are precluded. It just means, okay, get your grades up. We'll do this again. In the situation where you're not able to secure one that either you're happy with or just circumstances not allowed you to get a work integrated learning opportunity, we will work with you as much as we possibly can. But in the very rare occasion does that happen, then we look at other opportunities. We've had many different students that go through different changes in their life, and they, whether they're exciting ones like getting married, there are other ones like some unfortunate situations, some surgery or whatever it may be. We work with you to ensure that you're going to be successful. So that's on a case-by-case basis, but it is extremely rare that if you're prepared, if you've done what you need to do, respond to the recruiters, actively be involved with the faculty, that you aren't offered one or more co-op opportunities.
Wonderful, thank you. So remember, you have all the support from all faculty members, and we haven't even have cases like that. It's, as Peter mentioned, is really rare. So most of the students have the opportunity to do their co-ops. We also have another question. Is from Anam. I'm interested in the bachelor degree. Please, do you offer sign language in the hospitality management? Peter?
I'm not an expert in this. We do at the university have supports for people that need recorders and sign language. So I without speaking affirmatively, I would say yes. We'd have to investigate that, and we'd have to look into that. But I know that I have had students in class that needed a note taker, and they needed sign language. So it does occur. I just don't know what the system is to have that in place.
Thank you, Peter. We also have another question from Karen. She would like to, would you tell me if I end the first 2 years, what position I will be able to work? So for students who finish the diploma, what are the job opportunities?
Well, I'm going to say that's a good question, because it really is. There's two things that are going to make a lot of decisions for you in your life. One is your work ethic, and one is your education. Those two really give you options. So we have celebrated alumni who finished up with the diploma quite a few years ago now, who's a president, CEO of an international company. We have many diploma students, graduates, that go on and have very successful careers in hospitality management. The general thing with those ones is that their opportunity for advancement is generally limited. If you're really thinking about going into some of the major hotel chains, major hospitality chains, major restaurant chains, and so forth, event management, what have you, most are now requiring anyone looking to go into a management training, anyone looking in advancement, that they have a minimum of a degree. So that's industry coming back to us and saying, you know, yes, the skills and knowledge and attitudes you give to your diploma graduates are wonderful, and they have a place with us. It's going to limit their opportunities, but they still have a place with us. And we have not a lot, but we have some graduates that a couple of years later, I'm welcoming one back in the fall. They graduated with diploma, they went and did life for a little bit. Now they went, you know what? I'm coming back. I'm coming back. We also have, and I don't know if this is appropriate to speak, but we also have an entry for those with culinary management diplomas. And often I find what's happened is that they've gotten their culinary management diploma, gone into the industry, they like what they're doing, but again, they face this level of not being able to move past. They come back, they study hard, they go out, and all of a sudden the world is opened up for them. So it really depends on the individual. Lots of successful graduates have great opportunity be at the supervisory or below level. To move into management or ownership or things like that, generally it's that you need to have a bachelor's degree or higher.
Thank you, Peter. I'm sorry, I was muted. I will put in the chat the links of the two programs, the diploma and the bachelor degree. You also have an option there where you have information about career opportunities that you can look at that. We have another question from Victoria Garcia. He's asking about the average living costs in Nanaimo. Kathy, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So there is a great feature on our website, and maybe Pamela can put it in.
I have it ready. Let me just share my screen as well so I can show everyone. Yeah.
So there's the cost calculator. And so you can enter the program of study that you're applying to, and then select what kind of living arrangement you hope to be living in. So there's a lot of different options. You can live off campus where you're renting your own apartment or a room in a house. You could be living on campus and sharing a room or having your own single room. I can't tell you the difference between modern and traditional, but I think that information would be on the webpage, on the residence webpage. There's also the option to stay in homestay, and that's where you're living with a Canadian family and they're providing meals to you, or there's also the option to live with a Canadian family and not have meals included. So there's many different options. And so depending on what you select will depend on the cost. And then also if you're going to have a bus pass or if you're walking to school or cycling or driving. So here's an example of, this one is based on living in residence, the monthly rate. So there's about $550 for your room. And then estimated about $350 for food, basic health insurance, extended health and dental, which you typically pay by semester. So that's why I paused when I looked at those amounts. Mm-hmm. So, and then transportation, and then miscellaneous. So this is an estimate of what your living costs would be. And of course, it depends on what your lifestyle is, if what selections you make, et cetera, et cetera. So this just gives you a very rough idea of what it costs to live in Nanaimo. And one of the good things about coming to a smaller city like Nanaimo is that the cost of living here compared to some of the larger cities in Canada like Vancouver or Toronto or even Calgary are quite a bit higher than living in a smaller community like Nanaimo. So that's something to keep in mind if you're wanting to look for options with budget in mind. It's a great thing to consider. And also just to mention, with regards to housing, there's some excellent information on the website about if you're looking for how to find housing, if you're considering applying for residence, there's deadlines to be thinking of. So I encourage you to go to the housing website and just click on here. There's videos, there's written information, and gives you lots and lots of really great information on housing in Nanaimo.
Thank you, Kathy. So I'm putting here in the chat all the, give me 1 second to put it for everyone, the cost calculator and the housing as well. Please, just to summarize, usually I tell the students that they will need, obviously it would depend where you will be living, but you would need around 1,200, or it could be between $1,200 to $1,300 per month for living expenses. So obviously, there would be many other factors that will affect on that. We have 2 more questions, and we are We have 9 minutes left. So we have a question. Thank you for the information. I have done SSC or high school graduation in my country, and my result was 3.96 GPA out of 5, and my English result was A+. Kathy, would you mind answering this question about this student asking about the admission?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what the question is here. Do you qualify? Looks like you've got some good grades. Again, it's really, I'm really reluctant to say, yeah, you meet the admission requirements without understanding more which education system, what language you studied, et cetera, et cetera. But you look like a great student, and I would encourage you to apply.
Thank you. We have a student who put a question in the chat option. I intend to apply for September 2022. I'm applying from Pakistan. Is it possible to apply and get the visa until that time? What's your advice, Kathy, in this case?
So could you just repeat that for me, Pamela? Is from Pakistan?
Is from Pakistan. He would like to apply for September 2022. His main concern is, would he be able to get the visa on time or not?
Okay, so their Immigration Canada used to post, and I don't know if they've gone back to this. During the pandemic, there was a lot of delays with study permit application process, and they stopped posting online the average processing time by country. So I don't know what it is for Pakistan right now, but if you were to apply even this week, you are giving yourself, say it takes about a month. So by the end of May, oh, great, Pamela. So it's saying 13 weeks processing.
Yeah, at the moment, the government of Canada doesn't have a processing time for a country as it used to have. Now it's general. But here I would like to point out that this 13 weeks is after students have been taking the fingerprints or the biometrics. So you do need to consider more time, not just this 13 weeks. So remember that we also have the option. In this case, I will recommend the student just, if you have everything ready, you can send the application immediately. I will share the link where you can fill in the application that I have it here. If you have all the documents that we mentioned and you have everything ready, you still have, I believe that you will still have time. But if you're still missing some documents and if you still need to do some translation, you may not be able to get the visa on time. So, but remember, we have to intake. So in case you don't get the visa on time, you can deferral and start in January. But my suggestion, my recommendation will be to send your application as soon as possible. You can contact to our international team and we can guide you through the process and guide you and explain you how to apply it.
And just to add to that quickly, if you do decide to apply for September and then by beginning of August or mid-August, you still do not have a decision from immigration about your study permit, please contact the admission office at study@viu.ca and let us know that you would like to defer your start. Okay, so it's really important that you get in touch with us to let us know that you're not able to make it for September, because otherwise you might be marked as absent, not attending classes, and that's not what's going on. You haven't been able to make it.
We have 2 more questions and we have 4 minutes. So we have a question from Manum. In IELTS, I got overall 6 band and 6 band in each model. Is this band accepted for this program?
So it's an IELTS. So the requirement is 6.5 with each band of 6. So you're very, very close, but you haven't quite met the entrance requirement there.
So in this case, you will have two options. You can apply with that IELTS score, and you will get a conditional acceptance letter. Well, you will have to take one level at our English Language Center, and then you will be able to start the academic program. For example, you can take that English level from September to December, the UP5 or level 5, and in January you will be able to start the hospitality management program. So that it's one of the options. The second option would be try to improve your English level on your own and take IELTS again, so you can meet the basic English requirements. And then once you have that IELTS of 6.5, you can apply to VIU, and you still have time for January, because our applications for January will be closing at the end of June. So you still have time. And our last question is from Vittorio. In the case where my visa process is delayed, will I be able to attend the lessons online while waiting for the visa? Peter?
All of our courses are face-to-face. So we did move online because, of course, the pandemic. But I heard resoundingly from our students, you're in a hospitality management program, you're in a management program, and they want to be there. The interaction with others is so vital. So although it sounds wonderful, unfortunately, there are very limited numbers of that. If you are already as a student going through, there are some other approved institutions where we allow a student to take one or two courses from them and transfer them back into the Vancouver University, but that's not what you're asking. So really, it is, we want to do it face-to-face. We're in-person interactive programming.
Thank you, Peter. So I guess we have answered all the questions. Before we leave, I will just like to ask Peter just a short sentence before we finish this. Can you just share a tip, or would you like to share a message to all these students that would like to apply to this program?
Yes, thank you, Pamela. You put me on the spot, but I really do encourage you to apply. It's a great program. It's a great industry. And if I can leave you with one little tip, I call it Peter's 5 Ps. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. So get on your application, let the process help you, invest in yourself. I'd love to see you on campus and join and contribute to our program.
Thank you very much, Peter. We have just one last question. I want to apply for September 2023. When can I start my application? So Hamza, applications for September 2023 will be open in October this year. So you can, wait until October, you can gather all the documents you need so you can have everything ready. And once the applications are open in October, you can send your application and start the whole process. So yeah, I don't know if Kathy, if you would like to add something else. Are we perfect? Thank you. I would like to thank everyone for your time. It's been wonderful. We have had the chance to answer all your questions. Remember to contact us if you have more questions. I'm putting in the chat option our email again, warbiu@biu.ca. We have a full staff of international members who are ready to help you. So don't hesitate, contact us. All the questions that you have. Remember to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We have in Instagram some wonderful stories from students who have been through the process as you are from the beginning. They share their experiences, how easy or difficult was to travel, to find a house and things like that. So I encourage you to follow us on social media, and remember that we're here to support you. Thank you very much, Peter and Kathy, for your time. Thank you, Mike, for your support as well. And remember, we will be having another session. We'll be talking about the tourism programs this Thursday at the same time. So if you are also interested in those programs, we also encourage you to attend this event. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day. In some other regions, you'll have a great evening or night. Thank you. Bye-bye.